welcome to the Soul Health Mentor podcast. I'm Nadia Shana Krauss, author of From Dreaming to Done and founder of Soul Health Mentor and Company. Here we bring the human and the soul together. We talk about finishing the dream your soul has never let go of through embodiment, clarity, and wholeness, because we are souls having a human experience, not in exchange for, but in inclusion of. This is the Soul Health Mentor way. Hello, beautiful soul, strong heart, and brilliant listener. You are listening to your dreams. I know you are. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Today, I want to take you on a journey, a path less traveled from dreaming to done. Why is it that some of us have the clarity, the stamina, and the grit to bring an idea from dreaming to all the way done, and others don't? And this is not a cookie cut answer. This is as complex as humanity itself. There are so many reasons. It could be your family of origin, the environment you were born into, the country you live in, the school you go to, the friends you have, and the things you were born with. And when I say the things you were born with, then I'm talking about intrinsic gifts, talents, and a skill set that you have honed through adversity. And maybe some of us are still stuck deeply in adversity and don't have the tools and the knowledge and the support to lift themselves outside of it. And I say this with a lot of bold compassion. Bold because you are not a victim. I do not see you as a victim. You are not a victim to your circumstances. You are the creator of your life. That is your potential. That is the potential that might be dormant in some of us and fully alive in others. I also say this with bold compassion because I know that my parents were born into a time, an age, and an environment, a situation where they couldn't fully self actualize their dreams. What they did do, however, at a very young age, they planted a seed within me, and I probably was born with the fertile soil that just really honored that seed and realized the seed as precious and valuable. And that seed was that when I was 11 years old, my parents were spiritually seeking, who am I? What am I here for? Why is this happening in my life? That sort of thing. And they were reading a lot of self help books and New Age books. And they were really seeking their meaning and their identity as someone that contributes to life and to earth. And they shared their findings. They shared what they were reading with me. And while my mom was more quiet about it, my dad, he liked to hold monologues. So when I was a teenager, that wasn't so fun. But when I was 10, 11, I loved listening to my dad. I loved listening to what he was discovering and what he was sharing. So he planted the seed in me, the seed of being a dreamer, to the seed of believing that I could be anything I wanted to be. And even though my dad wasn't without his faults, and my dad also did cause trauma in the family dynamic, I do want to honor him for that. And I do want to express my deepest gratitude for that seed while I also honor myself, right? There must have been some fertile soil that I already came in with. I mean, I don't call my book From Dreaming to Done a soul map for finishing what you were born to do just because I made it up. I do believe that we were all born to do something very specific, and when we do the work of discovering our talents, our gifts, our skill set, our value system, we discover it via our value system, and then really doing the work of showing up for one dream at a time and finishing, not just starting, but really bringing something to an end, then we are getting closer and closer to our destiny, to what we were born to do, where everybody wins. You win, your loved ones win, and everybody that comes in contact wins. Everybody that comes in contact with you and your work, your dream wins. So a path less traveled. Yes, from dreaming to done. When I wrote From Dreaming to Done, a soul map for finishing what you were born to do, I did map my life. I did map my life, and I shared with you in 7 chapters the soul map spiral. I shared with you my first dream sparks, the first moments of really feeling my soul yes, and then the spiral step in, committing to the dream, and then the preservation chamber where all kinds of stuff comes up. Not just positive feelings, but also negative feelings and the feelings that are hard to feel and that society doesn't teach us to sit with and to be with and to nurture in the sense of just allowing us to feel them, and then they wash through us and they help us form and become someone new. And I shared with you stories of alignment, constant realignment to my dream, even when life was taking me different ways and when life was being challenging. I shared with you how I expressed my truth and invite you to express your truth. And so I created this soul map of story. And at every chapter, at every end of the chapter, there's creative exercises. And I call these exercises creative leadership exercises. And why? Why do I do that? I do have coloring pages in the book as well. I don't know if you know, but adult coloring pages are super, super in demand. It's just a beautiful thing to do, to color, to relax your mind, to unwind, to decompress. And I know there's people out there that think it's this cute little thing. There might even be people out there that look at my cover and then they kind of page through the book and they kind of go, oh, that's cute. And they put it away. They never really step into the dream spark, the soul yes. They never do the spiral step in. They never are going to learn about the preservation chamber, the alignment check in, the expression gate. They're never going to get to integration done through my work anyway. And that's okay. That's okay because not everybody is meant to work with me. Not everybody is meant to listen to this podcast. It is a very specific kind of dreamer. It is a highly energetically sensitive dreamer with gifts. And this sensitivity, this high level of sensitivity, might be seen as weakness by society at large. And it might seem like a curse at times, but it is the portal to your genius. And this work that I do from dreaming to done and mapping, right? Mapping the pathway via your gifts and talents, via your story. It's a creative leadership pathway. And at this point, I really love to quote or paraphrase Albert Einstein, who said, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind or thinking, that's my words, with the same mind that created the problem in the first place. That's just doing the same thing over and over again. That's insanity. That's also something Albert Einstein said. He was a very, very wise man and a genius. And he was a trailblazer in creative leadership because he created something that didn't exist before. So this is who I invite into my world. And those creative exercises at the end of each chapter, they are there to circumvent the mind that thinks it can solve the problem with the same thinking that created the problem. So you don't speak your soul yes through your mind. Through the mind, it's often dreams that we are conditioned to believe that we want. So conditioned to believe that we want, what that means is you have to have a university degree to be successful and earn lots of money. And you have to work in this profession because if you don't, you're just not going to be successful in life. You have to have a home by this buy a home by this age, or be married by this age, or have children by this age. All of those are dreams, and they might not be our dreams. And so it's our job to discern what is ours and what is not. And that is truly the work of From Dreaming to Done, bringing that dream spark, that idea that keeps whispering in your heart. Because those dreams, they live intrinsically in you. They are not loud. They are not noisy. They are quiet and persistent and won't go away. And I know this because my first book took 18 years to write. The Magic of Transformation took 18 years to write, and it wouldn't let me go. And finally, in 2020, I wrote it, published it in 2021, and will be publishing a new edition in 2026. The Magic of Transformation is about awakening your dream within. It's about following that dream spark to soul yes, to spiral step in, to taking action on your own behalf. And right there is where a path less traveled begins. You are trailblazing your path when you follow your dreams. And I am here to show you how you can overcome these invisible thresholds that keep you stuck in a loop, or that keep you from completing your dream, from bringing the idea all the way through to done. So I want to invite you at this point to check me out on Linktree. Just Google Soul Health Mentor on Linktree. I will also share the link in the show notes. And you will see Soul Health Mentor and Company, a creative studio dedicated to the art of dream completion, because it is an art. It is not something that is taught in school systems. It is something that was born through me, my intrinsic gifts, talents, and skill set, my lived life, and is now From Dreaming to Done, a soul map for finishing what you were born to do. You will see 5 different ways to enter: the books, the podcast, the art, the work, and the client stories. I want you to intuitively choose one door. Make yourself a cup of tea, get cozy, put on your comfy socks, or get yourself a blanket, and sip on your tea and read. Stay a while. Read and stay a while. And I trust that you know which door you're going to explore first. And you will find a creative studio dedicated to the art of dream completion. And if you are someone that is aching for their dream to finally fully land, then I know you will find exactly what you are meant to find in the moment. Maybe you're starting with my books, right? The Magic of Transformation, or From Dreaming to Done. Maybe you're going to enter my world, Soul Health Mentor World, by claiming your soul map gift and visiting bit.ly/soulmapgift and reading my emails. Maybe you'll reach out to me. Maybe you know you're ready. You want to do the work, and you'll book your completion diagnosis. And completion diagnosis just means we look at what's happening. We look at the 4 thresholds where dreams get stuck: the awakening threshold, the identity threshold, the relational threshold, relationships that have us stuck in drama and are really, really taking so much of our life force that we don't have enough energy left for our dream. Or maybe it's the body. Maybe it's the capacity. Your body, especially in midlife, especially midlife women, notices happening, that survival patterns that got us to the success of today cannot get us to the next level. The body is saying no. No more living in a survival body, but fully living in an empowered body. So all of these doors will open up a pathway and a path less traveled from dreaming to done. I believe that you know where to enter. And I remember that ache. I remember that ache. Oh my goodness. I remember it as clearly as I was standing in the room when I felt it. So this was in the year 2010, and I had already completed a lot of dreams. And unfortunately, the dreams that I completed weren't fully mine. So it was those societal dreams. It was that imprint of society, that conditioning that success needs to look a certain way. And my dream is career, money, a certain kind of status in society. And I had done a mix of following my heart, but also following that societal imprint. So every time I completed a dream, I was disappointed. I was like, wow, I accomplished this. Why do I still feel empty? Why does it not feel right? Or I was in a situation that wasn't sustainable, that was just depleting me. Like I couldn't hold the dream. It just wasn't, yeah, I couldn't hold it. And 2010, I really hit rock bottom. I had tried so many different things in my country of origin, Germany, and I was depleted. I was burnt out. I was frustrated. Yeah, all kinds of things. And I remember dancing. I remember dancing in my living room, and this dance turned into a prayer. And I was feeling so strongly from my heart, what is happening here? Why is it happening? And show me the way. How can I change this? And I call that exercise now the heart throne meditation. I actually share the heart throne meditation with you in my first book, The Magic of Transformation. And I also did a little between episodes excerpt of it for you. So a few episodes back, you can look for the heart throne episode between chapters. And I actually have I have an older version of it as well when I launched this podcast in 2022, and I'll link that in the show notes. I'll link all of it in the show notes. Everything that I mention in here, I'll just link in the show notes, and then you can go visit the show notes and you can explore. All right. So I was in the living room dancing, and my heart was aching because I had done everything to my belief, and I felt like I failed. I failed my dreams. And I surrendered. I surrendered in that moment, and I danced and I danced and I yearned and I asked, what is happening? Why is it happening? And how can I change it? Show me. I didn't know that that was going to lead to a very, very big step. And the big step was on 11/11/11, I left my country of origin, sold everything I owned with my husband. So we sold everything we owned to go live and work on a cruise ship for 3 contracts. And big, huge adventure, and the hardest thing we've ever done. And at the same time, it brought me here. 15 years later, these were very hard years. I was able to find out why and what was happening and how. And the soul map spiral became the thing that I discovered and that I share with you in my book. How do you navigate a dream? You navigate it from dream spark to soul yes, to spiral step in, taking the first action, and then staying with the preservation chamber, staying with that cocooning phase of your old self literally dissolving. Yes, it can be very uncomfortable, it's not easy. And at the same time, for me, it was more painful to die with a dream living inside of me. That was a non negotiable. There was just something so intrinsically strong in me that no, that wasn't going to happen. I was going to find a way. So the preservation chamber, yes, it's uncomfortable, but staying in the pain of not self actualizing the dream that my soul holds for me, that pain was greater than the discomfort of the preservation chamber. And when you go into alignment check ins or realignment, right? Soul realignment, aligning with your soul map, that's actually very empowering. And an expression gate, your truth expressed, is very empowering, very powerful, very strong, scary at times, but very strong, very empowering. And then the moment, oh my goodness, the moment when your dream finds completion and is done, and the integration happens, the new you, the celebration, and being able to be the person that you came here to be. Oh my goodness, that is such an amazing, amazing moment to arrive in. And when you've walked through the soul map spiral, even though it's a path less traveled, when you've walked through it once, you already trained a muscle. You can do it again. So, dream completion reveals the next chapter. That was the last episode that I shared with you. So, you get to be in that dream completion for a while, which is also that place of celebration. Enjoy who you've become, share with the world who you've become. Oh my goodness, it was amazing to write From Dreaming to Done, a soul map for finishing what you were born to do, and to share my book with the world. And it still is amazing. And out of that dream, the next book was born. And all of a sudden, the Destiny Architecture series was born. I was born to bring this work into the world. If I don't write it, if I don't share it, it's going to die with me, and that is a non-negotiable. So I want you to know that a path less traveled is not easy, can be very hard at times. The good news is you don't have to do it alone. That's always what's amazing. When you become a trailblazer because of your dream, what you're creating, be it a business, be it a movement, it might be a creative project, it might be an event, a gathering, whatever it is, when you're going from dreaming to done, then you're trailblazing your path for others. And the others that find you, they don't have to struggle as much as you did. So same here. Yes, it took a lot. It took a lot. It was 25 years of life. The very first time I followed a dream spark as an adult to build a business was when I opened my group training studio, my fitness group training studio called Fitness for Body and Soul. That was the first time. And we're in 2026 now, and I birthed From Dreaming to Done, a soul map for finishing what you were born to do in 25. So I had walked 25 years of the soul map spiral over and over and over again. And whew, it wasn't easy. It took me through the darkest night and chapter of my soul, but I came through on the other side to be able to share this message with you now. So I want you to know that your dream is the same. Whatever you carry, whatever your talents, your gifts, and your skill set is, your life experience, it's unique to you. And it doesn't look like anybody else's. So once you have that clarity, then you also stop comparing yourself to other people, right? And I want you to know that I'm here. I am here. You can enter my world and you can stay a while and you can read and you can practice and you can listen to this podcast. And I want to invite you to comment. If you're using the Podbean app, I host my podcast on Podbean, so I invite you to download the app. There's a comment function, and I would love for you to use the comment function. Share with me how this episode moved you, and also ask me questions. If there's anything that arises, anything that you want me to address, please do so. I do really, really well with questions because if we met in real life, I wouldn't be holding a monologue. We'd be having a conversation and you would share things with me, and then I probably would ask you a question from something inspired by something that you shared with me, and vice versa, right? I'd share something with you, and that it inspires a question in you. That's how dialogue works. And I love meaningful dialogues about dreams and dream completion and a path less traveled. We don't have to walk this path alone. While I think there are less dreamers and my goodness, trailblazers, there we go, in this world that really do walk all the way from dreaming to done in a non-conventional way. I do believe there's less of us, but I also believe that we are now able to find each other through technology, through the internet. Like, it doesn't matter where you live in the world, we can connect. So I invite you to do that and reach out if you do want support with your dream and in your dream completion. That's why I'm here. That's my jam. That's what I'm born to do. And thank you. Thank you for being here. I want to leave you with one question, and I'm going to leave you with this question for a little while so it can really sink in. What is a dream that you started but never found completion? Or what is a dream that you're currently in but you feel stuck? Right? And please feel free to share with me on the Podbean app in the comments section. I would love for us to form the Soul Dreamers community where we uplift each other, where we look out for each other, where we cheer each other on so that our dreams can be birthed into the world, because I know that our dreams are needed. When we become the person that can hold the dream, we also become the change we want to see in the world. And I imagine this movement of dreamers becoming the change they wish to see in the world. And because they are walking their trailblazing path, the world becoming a better place, one realized dream at a time. Here at Soul Health Mentor, we honor the dream, and we are dedicated to the art of dream completion. That is the Soul Health Mentor way. See you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for being here. If something in this conversation stirred your body, whispered to your heart, or woke up a dream you've been carrying, that's not random, that's resonance. If you want to walk this path with me and join a community of grounded visionaries learning to finish what their soul began, download your Soul Map gift by visiting soulhealthmentor.com and clicking on the book icon. And if you loved this episode, share it with someone whose dream deserves to be finished, or write a review of your experience on Apple Podcasts or Amazon Music. Here we root and rise together, one completed dream at a time.